Hello guys, Gaming Dad 56. Welcome back for another episode of the $10 million challenge. Now let me start off by saying firstly that I apologize. It's been a while since any videos have been recorded. I actually put out a couple videos just the other day. I took a little bit of a break off for the holidays. I was really busy with my actual job, and what free time I had I mainly spent with family and doing stuff around the house. But now we're back, new year, getting back into the recordings and getting back towards this goal of making $10 million. Last episode we were working on this field right over here. We had just purchased it. It was full of sunflowers. We had harvested it. It's now completely harvested, and we're actually working on replanting it. But I wanted to give you guys a little snapshot of where the farm is right now. So we own 15, 14, and 12. Those are our fields. We replanted those a long time ago with soybeans and looks like barley maybe. Yep. They are fertilized. Not fully fertilized, but partially fertilized. We are replanting field 13, which is a field we purchased not that long ago with the $1 million we got from the gold nuggets. We're planting that with corn. The reason being, we almost have enough money to buy a silage harvester, and if we can get just a little bit of money before that corn is ready to go, then we'll purchase a silage harvester and we'll do some silage, because that will definitely help us make some money. Last episode, or the episode, nope, I think it was last episode, we also purchased some sheep. So, animals, here we go. We have 50 sheep. We got them the grass that they need to survive, but we do not have them any water yet. So the first thing we're going to do in this episode is we're going to go get them some water. Last little update here where we're at. We have 19,000 liters of wheat, almost 20,000. We have 16,000 liters of sunflowers. Much of that came from harvesting field 13, which is awesome. We have 5,000 liters of barley and 5,000 liters of corn as well. I'm really tempted to go sell my sunflowers right now because there's a really good price at the Denton Bakery. However, I'm trying to wait for great demands on a lot of these grains just to make the most money that we can. However, it's really tempting because that would be about $24,000. That would definitely help us out. Real quick, let's take a look. If we want to get into silage harvesting, we're going to do it with the Rostelmash. We need $221,000 for that, plus we need a header for it, which would be in the next page. And it's none of these headers because we're talking about corn, so we need to get to this guy. So $27,000 plus $221,000. So we need about $250,000 to get into that. Not a big deal. We're close. We got $221,000. Actually, if we went and sold off the sunflowers, we would be really close to being able to do that right now. But it's not super critical because we're just now planting that field in corn. We've got plenty of time before harvest comes up. So, what we do need to do is get some water for the sheep. So, back to the store. Animal equipment. Water tanker. 9,500. Fill it up with some water. We'll get our sheep some water. They can start producing wool. Wool is fetching a pretty good price. Usually does. That's not what I meant to do. So I definitely want to get wool production going. $6,600 per ton. It's going to take a little while to get the wool going because, well, sheep don't produce it overly fast. I have to decide exactly how full I want to let pallets get before I go off and sell them. We could sell them partially full just to get some money. But I also didn't go off and spend all of the $1 million I had because I didn't want to get into a situation where I had no money and I was going to have to start selling just to like keep my money up. And I just turned my tractor off. Nice job. So by leaving a little bit of money in our bank account, it allows me to focus more on getting the best prices for things, so I don't have to go sell partially full wool pallets just to make some money. That said, the wool is a nice continuous source of income once it gets up and going, but it's not really all that fast, and it's not going to help us for a little while. We still need some way to make money. We're waiting for all these fields to grow. We could just up the time and get to harvest faster, which may end up happening at some point. But you know, it would be nice to have some way to kind of make some money right away. So we may look into using some of our money, just a little bit, to get into some forestry. Forestry, you know, it doesn't, to get into it at a very basic level or a very small level, doesn't require much equipment. We can cut up the trees and use the trailer we already have to transport them to sell. We just need something to pick them up with, front loader tractor, easy, and a chainsaw. And that's all pretty simple. Now, you know what I didn't do? Is fill this thing up. You have to put water in it first, or you can give the sheep water. So let's go fill it up with water. So we may get into a little bit of forestry just to boost our income a little bit while we're waiting for everything else to kind of catch up. We may still have to up time a little bit anyway, because on 1X it's just going to take forever for any time to progress. We could also go do contracting jobs, but God knows I am so tired of contracting jobs. We did so many contracting jobs trying to make money, and we did make a good bit of money, but I'm tired of doing them. We will still end up doing contracting jobs because we need to increase our reputation with the various field owners and things like that before we can buy their fields. However, I'm not in a hurry to go off and do contracting jobs right now because, holy cow, it's so repetitive. It's all farming, you know, that's all you do in those contracting jobs is plow, cultivate, fertilize, seed, harvest, and you know, we're going to be doing all of that already on our own fields. Something else I could do to start making money right off the bat is to actually start making hay or making silage bales. There's tons and tons of grass all over the map that we could be cutting for free, so we could do that as well. A couple ways we can go about making money on our own. Contracting was definitely necessary to get us, you know, some good starting funds. The gold nuggets certainly did not hurt either, but we still need some. We need some income. All right, back to the sheep. Back to the sheep. Like to get this farm to where it's mostly running itself, and we're kind of doing this. We're going around doing the odd jobs and things that can't be hired out to people to fill the time while we have workers and stuff taking care of our fields, making money for us. We'll get there. We'll get there someday. Back to the sheep. And the water trough. Alright, so what we're going to do, since the sheep are the only animal we have right now that needs water, we are going to... Wow. we're just going to leave this here. Excellent. So this tractor actually has the front loader attacher on it. Did I buy this tractor with front loader attacher? Yes, I did. However, this is my more powerful tractor that we recently purchased, so I need that to do seating stuff. And then neither of my case tractors have the front loader attachment on them. So if we end up doing some forestry stuff, we're going to have to do it with that New Holland. Let's take a look. I definitely want to just make some money. I feel bad that we're just sitting here not making money. Forestry equipment. A stump grinder would be nice, although not strictly necessary right at the beginning. Actually, none of this equipment is really necessary right at the outset, because all we really need is a log grabber for the front loader, which would cost us a log fork $800 plus a chainsaw $1,000. So for $1,800 we can go ahead and get started in forestry. I think that's what we're gonna do. We don't already have a chainsaw. No, we do not. All right, let's purchase a chainsaw, and we'll get the steel chainsaw. Yeah. Okay. And for the front loader, I want the log fork. Excellent. Okay. We're going to go grab the New Holland. I'm going to come pick up this front loader, and then we're going to go back down to the store. So what I will do is I will come back to you guys when we get to an area where we're actually going to start logging. And to make this effective, we're going to start logging right near the logging sell point. So I'll get back to you guys when I am there. Alright guys, we're back. We got the log fork on the tractor. We have the chainsaw. We are right across from the logging area. So what I'm going to do is cut down some of these big tall pines here along the road, and just easy ones to get to right around where we're at, so I can just drag them down into the logging area. We're going to just make this super easy. Minimal equipment, just working on making money. So actually, let's run back to here. Let's turn the engine off. No reason to leave this thing running. There we go. And let's start cutting down some trees. Timber. Alright, there's one. And two. While we're here, might as well trim it up as well. Perfect. We're not going to worry about cutting these stumps down or anything like that, since this is just out in the middle of nowhere. So there's two. We'll run over here across the way and cut down a few of these guys. There we go. Another one. Just making some easy money. If you guys are looking for a way to get started on your game, you know, the thing about Farming Simulator, it's all about how you want to play the game. There's no right, there's no wrong. How you want to play is going to dictate how you start. But if you want to make some money quickly, early, just buy a chainsaw and get your tractor set up with the front loader and the log fork, and you're good. You can start cutting down trees and making money. You don't have to worry about planting your own trees to cut down or anything like that. Not right away, at least. In fact, there's several trees right in the farmyard that you can cut down. I usually end up cutting them down anyway because they're in the way. Right behind where I park a lot of my machinery, there's a rectangular grass field, and at both ends of that there's a bunch of these trees. I cut those trees down and sell them. It's one of the first things I usually do in my Let's Plays. Just it gets money. It also opens that area up, and I turn that area into a haymaking spot. So really pretty easy way to get started and get some money pretty early in the game, when making money is, say, hard's not the right word. It's not exactly the easiest, because you have to just wait a lot for things to happen. Well, you know, we don't want to wait. We got $10 million to make. We don't got time to wait. So that's a good way to get started. Now, if you're really just interested in farming in the game, and in working your fields and or raising livestock, whatever it may be, then by all means, you know, do that. You can just get right into that. You can skip time with the time acceleration and all that. There's no reason you have to go cut down a bunch of trees. Logging is another one of those things. It's different than the field work that we're going to be doing if we would do contracting jobs or even for our own fields. So it's a little break from the norm for us right now, but it will get old quickly as well. It's not, you know, sit here, cut down a bunch of trees, trim them up, then load them up and drive them to the sell point. It is not exactly interesting in itself either. It'll get boring pretty quickly. Alright. Alright, so we gotta get this guy loaded up. This is actually one of the harder parts of this whole gig, is getting a log in the log fork. I usually try to angle the log fork down a little bit, which seems to help, but still just the way, because in Farm Sim, classic Farm Sim physics, because the log fork is not actually... Alright, so let me show you guys the way that I usually do this then. Lift it up, tip it all the way down, and open it up. Lower it down so that little claw comes in and catches it. And then close the claw on it. And that'll pick it right up into your into the fork. Then you can pull the fork up and you're good to go. You can probably guess by the way that the log fork is set up, that's not really how it's intended to be used. At least I'm fairly sure that's not how it's intended to be used. But with Farm Sim physics, there's no other way to do it. Perfect. Maybe I should look for crossing the street. Wow, we have caused quite a traffic jam here. Sorry. Oh, and we hit the light pole with our tree. There we go. Okay, now I actually forget where the sell area is for these. Oh, here I think. This right here is why I came over to near the logging area, because I don't really want to have to cut these trees up more than is absolutely necessary, and you can't really drive these things very far. This. What do we get? 879. That is not very much. Not very much at all. Well, it's gonna take some work. $1,000 just for for chopping down a tree and driving it over here, though, really isn't that bad. All right. There we go. Oh no! We dropped it. And now we're driving over it. Beautiful. Open the claw back up. Oh, logging. You just gotta love it. Definitely of the mindset. You know, I love all the new equipment that Giants gives us in Farming Simulator. However, I really wish they would take some time and fix the just weird physicsy stuff that just doesn't work right in this game. At least logs aren't as bad as they used to be. When they first came out, logs were terrible. 876. So we'll make a little bit of money here. For nothing, nothing more than picking up some logs. Can't complain too much about the money. I remember in Farm Sim 15 when it first came out, logging was really first introduced, and you just made so much money from logging. It was ridiculous. It was so bad that there was really no point in doing anything besides logging, because you made so much money at it. They've changed that, luckily. I say luckily. Now I'm kind of wishing... I don't want them here. What am I doing? Now I'm kind of wishing they hadn't changed it, so I could make money more quickly. But it is a little bit. It is a little bit better. You just make just so ridiculously high amounts of money. It really did decrease your desire to do anything else. Of course, you know, logging really, it does get a little old after a while. But now that we have the equipment, we can kind of get rid of some trees that we don't want on the farm, and we can come do this anytime that we need to. Take a little break. Get rid of that. But I figured, why not get into it? You know, it's one of the more unique aspects. Some people don't get into forestry at all. It was added in FS15, so it's still relatively new. And it's a lot different than sitting there driving your tractor, you know, while pulling an implement through the field or driving a combine. It gives you a break, something different to do. $208,000. We need to make more money more quickly. Now this is kind of the challenging part of this game. Not challenging, not that this game is challenging really, but it just in deciding what to do, because although this is different and something a little more interesting than just doing contracting jobs constantly, the pay for the amount of time that I'm working is not all that great. And really, when it comes to fields or farming, you know, actually doing the fields, I think contracting might actually be a better deal than buying the fields and farming them yourself. If you do every job in a field, you can make a lot of money. That one must have been a little smaller, only $700 at time. And the final log for right here. All right. Open the claw. It's the claw game. This reminds me of Toy Story. If you guys remember Toy Story and the claw. If you don't, that's okay. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Go, go, go. I think this log is a little too large for our tractor to handle. There we go. Oh no. This is just funny. This one ought to be worth... Oh no! What are you doing? This one ought to be worth a bit. It's considerably larger and heavier than the other ones that we had picked up so far. Go forward. One thing that drives me crazy about logging is the views. This is when being a computer game is really frustrating because you keep having to switch views and it doesn't ever feel like you know, if you were actually doing this in person, it wouldn't be this difficult. 2,000 for that tree. Holy cow. We need to be cutting down those trees. And that was a really, really big one. My guess is if we went right up on the hill and cut down those two really tall ones, maybe that third one over there, we would get that kind of money for those ones as well. However, I do not want to turn this into a logging only episode. So I'm going to leave this tractor here. What I did notice as we were doing that job, our worker is completely finished with this field. Let's make sure he did a decent job before we drive him off. Yep, I don't notice too many spots that he missed. So let's take him back to the farm. So this episode, well, we didn't really do much. We bought a water trailer. We bought some logging equipment, although it was really just a chainsaw and an attachment for the front loader so that we could pick up the logs. Not much. I am going the wrong way. If I want to get back to the farm, we need to go this way. We'll just, you know, take our implement off-road in the tractor. No big deal. It's not like these things are expensive. Anyway, we did not really make much money. I was really hoping the logging would bring in a little bit more cash, but looked like we picked the wrong trees out. Something to keep in mind when you're looking at those pine trees. You want the big pine trees, not the little pine trees that we cut down at first. So we'll have to keep that in mind when we're working on forestry. Right now we're gonna go park this guy up. Done with the corn. I need to get back up to $250,000+ so we can buy the silage harvester. That I definitely want to do. If we can get some silage going, we will have explored most of the aspects of this game already, which is pretty good. Now silage is going to take a little while because we got to let that cornfield grow, but it's not bad for not being very far, given that we actually haven't even gotten out of day 1 yet. That's pretty good, I think. Turn that guy off. This is my field work tractor because it's a little more powerful than all my other tractors, but I don't actually think there's any field work for me to do right now. So, oh, wrong way. We're just gonna park him, and let's take a quick look at the pig, or the sheep, I'm sorry. Hopefully this is updated by now. Yes, it has. So we can see they have water, they have their hay, and we are starting to produce wool. A whopping 16 liters of wool. That ought to fetch us just a really, really good price. All right. So next time when we come back, we will figure out how we're going to go about making money. Actually, you know what? Let's look at some options. We could definitely continue to do forestry. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing to do. We could even, if we want to really get into forestry and make it a little more profitable for us, we could look at getting this trailer. So we can actually cut up the logs, pick up numerous logs, and then transport them all at one time. That might be something to look into, but that thing's $54,000. So what we're really trying to do is turn a profit and start making money. So any money we invest in equipment, we've got to be able to recoup pretty quickly. So that's one option. It would take, at $2,000 for one of those big trees, we'd have to sell 27 of those trees before we broke even with this piece of equipment. The other thing that we can do is use the mower that we have and invest in some equipment for making silage bales. Now we shouldn't need a tedder for that, but what we will definitely want is a windrower. Now the smallest windrower is only 9,000. That's not bad. And we'll definitely want a baler. And we're looking at 58,000 for that one, 56,000 for that one, and 58,000 for that one. So 58,000 for a baler, plus 9,000 for the windrower, plus, because you don't just want to make bales. You want to make, I'm just taking a look at that's hay, that's straw, and that must be grass. All right, so that would work. We don't need a tedder. We do need a windrower, 9,000, 58,000, and then you need a wrapper, which is this guy right here. So another 42,000. So that's $110,000. And if we take a look at silage, the bales are 4,000 liters, and it'll turn them into silage, which is, which one is silage? I think silage is this one. So 500, yeah, that's gotta be silage. $500 per ton. It's about $2,000-ish per bale. So again, you'd be looking at, we'd have to make 50 plus bales to recoup our money. Now, realistically, bales are probably easier to do than cutting down a bunch of trees. Grass is not that hard to come by. So that are some options and what we can do to make some more money. We'll look into next episode. We'll try to figure out what exactly we're going to do. I want to keep this series moving along. I want to continue doing some new things. I don't want to always do the same old things. But ultimately, we're going to have to do a lot of the same stuff over and over again to get to our 10 million. So we are currently at 211,000. We started this episode right about just a little under that. We actually did make a little episode, or little money this episode, although we ended the last episode at about 221,000. So we're down a little bit because we bought that water trailer. But the sheep are going to start making us money now. Get to work, sheep, bringing in the moolah. I will see you guys next time for the next episode of the $10 million challenge. Until then, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like, comment, or subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thanks.